Hey, we're back. We're here. It's live, live, live. It is the April the 21st. Welcome to the final hour of trading here, April 21, 2022, Thursday, 3 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern Time. We're coming into the final hour of trading. And as I kind of suspected this morning, I may have alluded to the fact that it was possible that we could have a red down day today when it's all said and done, that the first 3, 4 hours would be good. And then, Dr. Doom talks and watch out. Well, yeah, I guess I was right. Not happy about it, but I guess I was right. The Dow hit a high today of 35,492. So almost 35,500. It's now 34,870. That's 630 points, or 620 points. We've lost 620 points from the height of the day to where we are now, and we are plummeting. And the height of the day was the opening. We started the day nicely at 35,258, went right up to 494, 492. It looked great, and then it just slowly began to give it up, and now it's accelerating on the downside. So, okay, we gained 500 points a couple of days ago, 250 points yesterday. That's a 750 point gain. We're giving up 287 from that. Got it? So we're still ahead of a 463 on the last 2-day session. Monday being the holiday, not much happened anyway. But there you go. There's yesterday's wiped out, the 250 point gain. That's gone. Now we're biting into the day before that. And the Dow isn't the only one. S&P down 57 points, and now NASDAQ down 261. And if you want to look at percentages, the NASDAQ is getting the crap kicked out of it. It's down 1.94%. It's the loser. S&P down 1.3, and the Dow down 0.87. And again, the Dow is less than half as bad as NASDAQ. So it's kind of like, right now I see the Dow down 303. Then it's like we're 650 points down if you compare to the NASDAQ to the Dow. That's how bad off the NASDAQ is doing. So there you go. We're running into stock, and it comes back now to headlines like we've been saying that we're going to come out, higher rates, more aggressive rate increases, because the Federal Reserve and the Bank of England and the Bank of Canada and the ECB, they're all worried about global inflation. They're worried about inflation in their countries. They're worried about inflation in their economy. What they're not getting, or what they're not admitting to, I don't know what's the right way to say this, but the reality is this. Inflation is not being created by consumers who were locked up in their houses, forced off the streets, not allowed to go downtown, not allowed to go to a restaurant, not allowed to go to movies. We didn't create inflation. Inflation has been created because the economies of the world are trying to get started up again, and you've got the growing pains of the beginnings. And some experts will say, well, Bruce, that was okay for the first 3 months, but it's been over a year now. Well, you know what, kids? This isn't over. The pandemic isn't finished yet. You might think it is, with all of the loosey-goosey rules now that are being bandied about by countries, some more than others. But that didn't mean the virus went away and there is no virus. We still have it, and we still have all kinds of interruptions in the supply chain. And the bottom line is this, man. Let's get to the quick here, okay? If the United States of America says to all Americans, you can do whatever you want, whenever you want, don't worry about any masking, don't worry about getting any shots, just go forth and multiply, okay? And Canada did the same thing, and UK and Europe and South America. Well, that's fantastic. Oh, yeah, that's great. But here's the problem, all right? Here's the issue. A certain percentage of the population is not back to normal, and won't be back to normal for quite some time, if ever. Because, one, people are dead. We've lost, over 1 million people in the last 2 years from this thing? So they're not coming back. We all now know someone, or someone we know someone that knows someone that died, all right? And it wasn't the cold that did them in. They didn't get the flu. They got the virus. Deny it all you want. I don't care. Uh, the other thing is, there's a lot of people out there who maybe got ill and recovered, or they recovered up to 80% recovered, or 70% recovered. They're still suffering 30% after effects. There have been countless articles written, countless testaments of people who've recovered from the worst of it, but are still suffering after effects. They're not normal. So they can't do the work that they used to do. A lot of people have been forced to seek other kinds of employment because they haven't got the stamina anymore that they had in the past. All right. Then there are those who didn't get ill, or they were fine. Maybe they were vaccinated, maybe they weren't. But they're now looking after a family member, a partner, a husband, a wife, a child, a relative that did get it and is really suffering from after effects. And they're indefinitely out of the workforce. They're not able to go back. And so we're not at normal. And so what's happening here is that with 2 years gone by, we've lost 5% of the workforce due to just aging it out. That's normal. We've lost another 5 to 10% of the workforce because of people who either passed away, got so ill, or haven't been able to recover fully. And then we've lost people who are perfectly able to go to work, would love to go back to their old life, but can't because they have got familial obligations. Because in certain countries of this planet of ours, you do not have universal health care, and you have to pay the kind of money that you will ever make. You will never make the kind of money you need to make to have full-time professional care to look after a loved one. So you have to do it, or someone you know has to do it. Now, it used to be grandma and grandpa would look after someone in the family that got ill. Problem is that with this variant and these viruses and these COVIDs, the elderly are the most vulnerable to this thing, because if you have underlying health conditions, you are asking for it. And that's where most of the deaths have occurred. So a lot of seniors can't look after like in the old days. This is not the 50s and 60s, you know. Families don't live together anymore either. Did you notice that? Mom and dads are here, grandma and grandpas are there, kids are out on their own, and everyone is scattered. So that's all different. So we don't have a normal to go back to that we had from 20 years ago, 30 years ago. We have a normal that we're trying to go back to from 2 years ago, and it is not conducive in the Western world to fully recover this economy very quickly. And therein lies our dilemma. The economy of Canada, the United States, the G20, all those European countries, Asia countries, the G20 countries are going to be operating at 85% capacity for years. And we're not going to have full-blown GDP production, which means the most efficient running economies that we had in 2019 will not be running as efficiently going forward. And that inherently means it's like riding a bike with a chain that's got a kink in it. You're rolling and then you're rolling and it's got a little in it every once in a while. You can't figure out when it is. There's always a glitch there somewhere. Yeah, that's what's going on in the economy going forward. But right now, as I'm sitting here yapping away to you, China is collapsing under its own weight, and we are not being told about it because they don't want to admit it. They don't want to let the world know the embarrassment of that country screwing up its own domestic economy and its own domestic structure. It is being completely decimated as each day goes by in China. Hundreds of millions of people are locked up. That economy is collapsing on itself. Good news for China, the country, is that the communists have such an iron fist on everyone's whereabouts and what they think and what they say and how they react, that anyone gets out of line, you are locked up. And so the country is locked up right now. The media is locked up right now. We can't send independent media in there to send in observers. Can't do that. And so it's all hiding behind a shield of secrecy as much as they can, although leaks are coming out all over the place about what's really going on in China, and it's ugly. And it's going to affect our economy, which means it's going to affect our stock market. And right now we're down 363 on the Dow today on a combination of factors, one of which is the Federal Reserve wants to raise interest rates at a faster pace because they believe that by raising rates faster, they will quell demand enough to calm inflation and all will be well. And they are wrong. It is not going to work. Is that at the end of the day, it isn't us. That's the problem. We want just as many refrigerators as we wanted in 2019. We want just as many cars as we wanted in 2019. We want to go on a holiday just as bad as we did 2 years ago, 3 years ago. We're not the problem. The problem is the supply side. We can't get the goods on the other end. Airlines don't have as many planes flying, can't get the employees, interest rates are high, fuel is high. Cruise ships, indebted up to their eyeballs, having survived the last 2.5 years, running now on cruise ships with $108 or $105 crude prices, losing money like stinko. And they've been restricted as to where they can go and how many passengers are on board their ships. They are losing money. Hotels, not operating at full capacity because there are no business travelers like there were in 2019. And many businesses have figured out that they don't actually need as many people traveling on business as they used to need because the Zoom call thing has taken over. People working from home who want to stay at home don't want to go out there. And therefore, there will not be a full-blown recovery in certain segments of this economy here in North America and in Europe. We're not going to travel for work as much anymore. Goodbye to a zillion conventions. Goodbye to all kinds of ridiculously priced hotel reservations in Las Vegas and other places because we're not going. We are not going. And this is going to change and take a decade to get through. It is a whole other world. But the Fed isn't talking about it. They're not admitting to that. It's okay. They got enough on their plate. They've been stimulating the economy for 20 plus years, ever since 9/11, trying to keep things going. But the rooster's coming home to roost. And now the question is for corporate America, corporate Canada, corporate Europe, corporate Asia, and everywhere else, what will the numbers be in the next quarter and the quarter after that and the quarter after that? What will the economic activity really be about? And we're going to find out for ourselves. And airlines are going to have to now really go after the leisure traveler for their future endeavors because the days of unlimited business spending accounts are over. It's not going to happen. There'll be some, but not like before. Hotels are going to have to cater to tourists. You want to reserve 10 floors just for business, you can now make it 3 floors just for business. The rest you can open up to the open market and go after leisure travelers who have some money because you're going to have to pamper these people to get their business. And you're in competition with all the other hotels, motels, and Airbnbs that are out there. Car rental companies, oh, are they in trouble? Those unlimited expense accounts for the firm, out the door. Individual travelers are picky and they're price sensitive and they're real shoppers. Turo is going to have a field day. The renting of a car from a private individual is just going to be a huge boom because of the one-on-one reaction, one-on-one relation with the owner of the vehicle and the renter. It's a whole different world. I'm telling you, we are at the beginning of a massive awakening, I guess is what's going to happen in the next 30, 60, 90 days, 180 days. A massive awakening that we are not going back to normal, no matter whether you have to wear a mask or not, or whether you believe in it or not, or whether you have to prove vaccination or not, or whether you need to show a negative test or not. It's all irrelevant. The virus is here. It's among us. We didn't defeat it. We didn't play ball with it. We went our own different ways, too many of us, and we're now infected forever with this damn thing. And the only hope we have is that the variants, as they photocopy themselves, get worse and worse and worse and weaker, not stronger and more viral, I guess what I'm looking for. That's the hope. Don't know if that's going to happen. I hope that's the way it is. We'll see. But now the long-term damage to the economy and the long-term damage to the new normal. I guess the new adjustment to the new normal now will have to be taken into account. And it could well be that certain sectors of the economy will do incredibly well because of the new normal we're in, and some will be wiped off the face of the earth. And that's where we're at. So changes are a coming. Watch for them. Look at what's happening. We're down 381 or 361 on the Dow right now, down 366. S&P down 65, Nasdaq down 286. GameStop 140.72. We're down about $8 today, reminding me of day before yesterday when we backed off. 140.72 on GameStop. We got Twitter up 4 cents, not going anywhere. Sextera 12.98 down 64 cents. That hit an all-time high first thing this morning, right off the bat. 1388 was the high trade first thing this morning on a couple thousand shares. We've now traded 427,000 shares and we're down 65 cents. And we don't have any announcement yet from the company. They're a takeover target. We don't know what's going on. Rocket Lab 786 down 60 cents. The volume on Rocket Lab now 3.4 million shares. On SoFi $6.52. The low of the day $6.48. We've been hitting new low every half an hour. Just a new low, a new low, a new low all day long. All day long. 652 on 55.8 million shares traded. And it is not a company problem that is causing the stock to go down. It is shareholders of the company problems causing the shares to go down. I read to you an article this morning. If you weren't here, just to let you know, I read an article this morning that came out from the Wall Street Journal. Had to do with Melvin Capital, the firm that got their butts handed to them on that GameStop short squeeze a year plus ago. Melvin Capital is completely reorganizing themselves. They are going to become a $5 billion hedge fund if they have their way from what they're now at $8 billion. They've already lost, $8 billion in the last year and a half. They've lost a ton of money. These guys are the tip of the iceberg of what's been happening to hedge funds in the last year and a half. Hedge fund managers had it so easy and they had it so juicy all through the 2000s. All they had to do was try to defeat Democratic-based presidents or help Republican presidents get elected in the USA, stack the Senate with a bunch of lackeys that will do whatever they want, send a bunch of consultants to Washington and all kinds of state capitals, along with all their other pals, to make sure that legislation gets passed in Washington that is good for business. If it's good for business, it's just good for everybody. That was the mentality. And tax cuts galore got passed. And when Mr. Trump became president of the United States by one of the most incredible flukes of all time, everything lined up just perfectly to let him in there. These guys were able to, with the House, the Senate, and the White House, to pass one of the largest tax cut in American history in the middle of a booming economy, when tax cuts were not needed to help business in any way. Interest rates were nothing. Inflation was nothing. Employees were there to be slaughtered. Employees were there to be abused. People couldn't get full-time jobs in small-town America. They had to take a 20-hour-a-week job at Walmart and a 15-hour-a-week job at McDonald's, and they were legislated against to get a better pay packet by state laws. America was set up for business like you couldn't believe, and yet the biggest tax cut in U.S. history was given to business, and these hedge fund boys who helped fund these consultants cashed in by being able to just ride this market to a wonderful level. But it all came home to roost, unbeknownst to them and unbeknownst to everybody, that in Trump's last year and a half, the virus showed up. And as arrogant as he is, he wouldn't mandate mask wearing. He wouldn't be caught dead with a mask on himself, which is just incredible. He got the virus himself. Unbelievable. Thankfully survived it. Thank God he didn't die in office. And Americans now paid the price by the hundreds of thousands in body bags. Thank you, Donald. The American economy is not going to recover for a decade from this absolute fiasco. And of course, everyone blames Joe Biden because the virus is still here. So it's Joe's fault, obviously. Unbelievable. The U.S. economy, the Canadian economy, the world economy, it's a mess. Now, could America have stopped the virus by itself? Nope. No, it couldn't. The strongest country in the world with all the military that it spends, all the money it spends on bullets and bombs and everything else, could not ever have stopped this virus. This virus was coming for all of us. It's a killer, and it's still here and will be with us for years to come. Could never have stopped it. But could America have been the world leader in knocking the thing down? Yes. Was it? No. America is sadly lacking many, many countries in effectiveness. Every airplane ride in the United States for the last 2 years domestically, you didn't have to be vaccinated. You only had to wear that paper mask. That's all you had to do. And we had Americans fighting that rule. I mean, just that rule was a problem. We got a real mess on our hands, kids, and we're about to pay the price. It's a miracle. It's an absolute miracle. The markets are where they are. It's a miracle. It's incredible. Just the most amazing thing. It is a testament to the geniusness of American entrepreneurialism, Canadian entrepreneurialism, free country entrepreneurialism in capitalized countries. It's a miracle that mankind has figured out a way to stay in business, to keep business rolling, even in the middle of this unbelievable catastrophe that mankind, unfortunately, has helped to spread. But there will be areas of the economy that are going to now pay a price. We've already seen it in some areas. We're now beginning to see it in other areas. The other thing that we're really good at, unfortunately, is we are perfect. We are experts at turning on ourselves. We're so good at it. We're absolute geniuses in blaming ourselves for the problems that are out there when it really has nothing to do with ourselves at all. And the classic example is what's happening in Florida right now with that idiot DeSantis down there and his morons in the state legislature attacking one of the largest employers of their own state, the company that represents Florida to the highest standard on the planet, that attracts 20, 30 million people from around the world to come and visit this place, the place known as Disney World. These guys are attacking Disney World because Disney World has dared to venture and comment on the don't use the word gay bill. Unbelievable. Turning on themselves. They're cutting their own wrists, slicing open their veins to bleed all over their state because they're turning on themselves. It's just a mind-numbing. And the thing that everyone knows that has anything to do with politics is DeSantis is not interested in being the governor of Florida for the rest of his life. DeSantis wants to run for president of the United States. This guy he doesn't give a crap about Florida and what Florida is going to go through because he doesn't want to stay there. He is heading to Washington. That's where he really wants to go. And yet people follow this moron blindly into the abyss. Absolutely disgraceful and pathetic. So pathetic to attack your own, to promote your own political agenda. But hey, it's America. You can do whatever you want. It's fine. It'll be fine. Unbelievable. The markets cannot continue to take this kind of shenanigans anymore. The stock market can't handle it. Disney stock is getting hammered, and it's going to get hammered even further. The problem with Disney getting hammered is that maybe DeSantis is going to have a potential win on his hand politically. Where he says, you're anti-us, you're anti-whatever. But you're dealing with a company that directly and indirectly is the biggest tax generator in your state through the employment and the spin-off employment that's out there. And you're making life even more difficult for these guys. What these politicians just don't realize is that the board of directors of Disney can make decisions at the board level with regards to the future of their company that generally don't include Florida in a big way. Now, some people say, "Oh, well, they'll never walk away from Florida. It's too big a market." No, probably not. They probably won't, but they won't expand like they were going to expand. They weren't going to hire additional employees like they were going to hire. They weren't going to build out like they were going to build out, because now there's a whole new nightmare in front of Disney with respect to keeping potholes off of Disney roads that Disney used to take care of itself. Now you've got to rely on the county around you to fund the maintenance of all the streets and parking lots and lighting and everything. Not going to happen. These counties are broke. These counties are up to here in debt. They can't do it. Disney was doing it themselves. There's a nightmare about to happen to Floridians. They have no idea of the possible credit rating downgrade of the state of Florida and how many conventions are going to be canceled now into Florida. How many? Get ready, line them up. It's going to be unbelievable. The damage is going to be profound. But when you're an arrogant whatever and you're oblivious and you don't give a crap about your citizens anyway, because you have an agenda, you're trying to get the Bible Belt on your side. You're trying to get the Christians on your side to become the president of the United States. You only need a third of the vote. That's all you're going to need. If you get a third of the vote, which are your Christians, you can get 17% of everybody else. You got 50.1%. You're the president of the United States. You don't need the country anymore to become president. You need a percentage of the country. And so what do? You enact legislation that riles up all kinds of emotional everything on the sexuality and race and everything else. You rile it all up. You go after that vote. It's the Trump playbook. And then you become the dominant party in the Senate and the Congress. And now you pass bills that are Christian-led and moral decency and for the family and ignore all others. And that is the current state of affairs. It's not good. The markets are going to react to this. When business sees what can happen to Disney, business backs off. A whole lot of businesses are not going to Florida now. They're not moving in because if the legislature targets a bill in the state capital against one company, specifically because it made an opinion on a piece of legislation that was passed, that is retribution. That is targeted politics. You've got business people going, I think we'll hold off for now. Maybe we'll stay somewhere else. We don't need to be down here. Why do I need to be in the crosshairs? Because I might be in the crosshairs because this guy wants to get elected to this office, or this guy wants to become a senator, or this group wants whatever they want. You're scaring away a lot of business to your state when you start targeting specific companies. And that's what's going on in Florida. It's happening in Texas. It's happening elsewhere. And not good for business. And that means not good for markets, because Disney is a Dow 30 component company. And we don't need this to spread around other states. This is where it's getting kind of ridiculous. And anyway, just saying, plain English, I'm telling you what's going on out there. And from the outside looking in, and I'm in Canada, I'm not down there. I'm not American. I'm Canadian. I'm just looking in going, what the hell are you guys doing? What's wrong with you guys? It's unbelievable how un-American Americans are becoming. They're becoming un-American to fellow Americans. It's unthinkable, unthinkable from the outside world. We just can't believe it. But I don't vote down there. These aren't my kids. These aren't my boys. I'm just telling you what I think is going on. If you're an option writer, is it good times? Are you writing options for a living? Are you trying to be self-employed by writing options? Do you want to quit your day job? This is your chance to rake in the money. Sell stocks in the morning on the way up and watch them deteriorate all day long, and watch those contracts you wrote for big fat premiums just disintegrate in front of your eyes. Are any of you able to buy back some of your contracts that you wrote this morning? Did any of you write contracts in the last 2 days on some of these stocks that took a run here? We had a 750-point run going into today. Then we were up 300 points this morning. We were up over 1,000 Dow points in 2 days. Who didn't write options in the last couple of days? Now you can be looking at buying them back or watch them die on Friday worthless. You are an option writer. You are in heaven. You are in absolute perfect spot you could possibly be in. Fear upside? No, there is no upside to fear whatsoever. You can write call options all day long and they will pay you handsomely. Thank you very much, in the United States of America. Thank you, DeSantis. Thank you, Governor of Texas. Thank you, Republicans. Thank you, warring politicians. Thank you, Putin and Ukraine. Thank you, President Xi in China. Thank you so much for being morons, because it allows those of us out here sitting in our homes to just pick off wins and wins and wins and wins and wins. You guys play your massive games of total death and destruction and hatred, racism and everything else, and I'll take the money. Thank you very much. It is easy pickings, left, right, and center. And I tell you, it is nuts. Alberto, thank you. Appreciate it. What do you think of What do you think of SoFi? Bye. It's a bye. I love that SoFi. What can I say? Thank you for the donation, my friend. As always, you're the best. Guys, I hate to tell you, but the secret to making money is to find weaknesses out there and find gaps and opportunities. It's as simple as that. If I'm an ice cream vendor and it's a hot day, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to sell ice cream cones on a hot day. If I'm a vendor and it's a cold day, I'm going to sell hot chocolate now. I'm just going to adjust to whatever the market wants to give me. I'll just adjust to it. I'm an entrepreneur. I can do that. Well, this is what's happening in the options market. The options market is giving you opportunities to write calls on stocks that are staying flat or going lower. And that is the name of the game right now. It's unbelievable. We got the market right now down 295 on the Dow. We're up 45 cents on Twitter. We're down 63 on Sixtera. We're down 53 on Rocket Lab, 38 on SoFi, which is a bargain down here. GameStop 141.67, down $7. AMC down 49, Matterport down 34, ME down 14, Spire down 11. Unfortunately, they're all being taken with the ride here. ATIP down a nickel, SmartRent down 50 cents, Pfizer down 58 cents, writing 52s and 53s, pays. Hewlett Packard 38.46, down 90 cents, being able to acquire a top quality stock at a great price. This is wonderful. Robinhood 10.38, heading to 5, going down 32 cents and further. Vanik Vectors down 6.51. It's at 2.40 a share. You can write 250 calls and watch it go down and buy them back. Home Depot down 392 at 311. We're going back to 300 or lower. IBM up 191 at $140. It did reach today 141.87. Here we are at 140.23. Microsoft down 423, $282 a share. We got up today to 293 on Microsoft. That's how long it lasted until guess who started talking? The head of the Fed. And from 293, we're at 282. $11 later, easy option rights this morning, staring you in the face. 295 option rights. Now we're at 282. Apple 166. We touched 171.53. Did I mention writing Apple 170, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75 the last 2 days? Here we go. 166. We're going lower. Goldman Sachs down 653. It's too bad because they were as high as 347 this morning. 350s could have been written. 345s could have been written later in the morning. Now we're at 334. Cisco 52.92, down 10 cents. Facebook down 12.87 to 187 a share. These shares in the last couple of weeks were 231, 234, 187. Going lower on Facebook, sorry. Amazon down $111 a share. This company's splitting 20 to 1. They've announced their split 20 to 1. The stock is under 3,000 a share, down $112. Tesla up only $28 now to 1,006. Not going to hold this. We're going back to 750, 800 on Tesla. Watch for it. It's coming. Google down $63. Bed Bath Beyond up 3 cents. BlackBerry down 22. Royal Caribbean down 83 cents. About to start a fall. Target down 56 cents. JP Morgan down 99. Costco down 10.96. Walmart up 48 cents. Nvidia down 14 cents. Walt Disney down 230 to 122. Shares this morning were 126. And in the last month, they were 142 before this entire war began with Florida. They had recovered all the way back. Even in February, they were back to 156. They had come back to 156. But remember, a year ago, these shares were 184. And don't forget, how many Floridians work for this company and get stock inside their savings accounts? They save up so much money every month. Disney matches it. They take it in stock. These folks have had the crap kicked out of them. There are Floridians losing their retirement savings because of DeSantis and all these policies. This stock from 180 had its own problems with COVID. I will grant you that. It wasn't DeSantis that created it. Of course, DeSantis, who doesn't believe in the COVID, hasn't helped matters. But Disney stock can't recover to $180 a share. Now it's down here at 122, and it could go to 80. Not good, man. Not good. People who thought they're going to retire on Disney the next 5 years might not. Not looking good. Any event, American Airlines up 75 cents to 2022. Got up today to 21.42. That's as high as they got. That was just after the opening. Now we're 2023. Lost over $1 on the day, and we're still falling here. We're going back to $19, unfortunately, for American Airlines. Netflix down $671 to $219. Moderna down $575 right now on that one. So the Dow down 406 points right here. Lots of factors affecting the Dow, lots of them, and many underreported. And then there are the under the surface problems that we have that I'm just alluding to as well. It's a tall order for this market to reach new highs. And now we're giving up the last wonderful 1,200 point gain we were sitting on this morning. We were almost up 1,200 points. Now we've given up 400 of it. As a matter of fact, we were maybe up 1,000, 1,100. Now we're up maybe 500 on the week. Not even that. Not good. Not good. Okay, there you have it. I bought 800 SoFi at 658 today. Anyone buying SoFi down here, well done. I cannot tell you the low of the stock. I can't tell you this is the low price. I can only tell you that the lower this thing gets, the bigger the bargain is, because these guys aren't going under. As a matter of fact, if the virus continues to regenerate because how lax we're getting on dealing with it, these guys are going to make all kinds of money. Because a lot of you are going to not leave the house. You're not going to go to the office. You're going to minimize contact with people as much as you can. And that means you're going to bank online. And that's SoFi. They're here to help you not communicate and touch base with people inside bank branches. There you go. Alberto, Uncle is my favorite angry balding shorty. Love him. Oh, man. Charlie, please stop bashing the political party. I'm not bashing these guys. I'm telling you what's going on. If you don't like what's going on, then vote someone else into the office. But you guys are voting these morons in. It's not me that's doing it. I'm just commenting on what they're doing now that they're in office. That's what I'm doing. I don't care who it is. If there were a reasonable Republican and a reasonable Democrat getting together, they can do great things together. Problem is, these days, there are no reasonable Republicans and Democrats that can get together because they don't see anywhere in the same area code anymore. That's the problem. In France, there is a nightmare happening in France that you should be even more worried about, Charlie. You shouldn't give a crap what's happening in Washington right now. You should be pooping your pants about what's happening in Paris between the two presidential candidates for control of France. The election on Sunday has a lot more to do with this market than what's happening in Washington right now. And you guys have got to know. DeSantis handled COVID a lot better than many other governors. Yeah, sure. Yeah, right. DeSantis did nothing. DeSantis made it almost impossible for schools to keep kids safe. He made it impossible for cruise lines to run their business the way they should be run with the CDC guidance. It was thankfully the CDC that stopped them from screwing it all up. This guy DeSantis is a joke. He's a moron. Unbelievable. Some people are so close to the trees, they don't see it. Get out of this guy's chest hair and back up. Look at this guy. He's an idiot. But then, what do I care? I'm just a Canadian. Sorry. What can I tell you? What else is going on? And no one is going to go back to lockdowns. There's no proof that they weren't. Well, okay. Suit yourself. I know relatives. I'm aware of relatives in our family that didn't believe. They're not here anymore. They left us too soon. Sorry. Yeah, crazy. Being criticized by a foreigner who capitalizes off our country isn't things Americans should stand for. If you haven't got the guts to take some criticism, you're not an American. You're a pussy. Wake up. Toughen up. It's time to become an adult here. Stop being children and whiny babies. This is money we're talking about. We're talking about the stock market here. Nothing personal. It's business. You guys have got to grow a spine down there. I mean, wake the hell up. Here in Canada, we have the same problems as you have. We have the same morons in politics here. Believe me, we hate them too. It's okay. It's all right. But it's not un-Canadian to criticize our own. And it's certainly, as Americans, if you think I'm attacking you because I'm anti-American, think again. I love America. I love Americans. Love it. Can't wait to be down there. But guys, you're being shortchanged. You're just not getting your money's worth. It's ridiculous. It's just so pathetic. What I think most people in this channel seem to miss. Bruce hates all of the politicians and political parties equally. I do. There are morons at every level of government: county, town, city, state, federal. They're all morons. There are some with pretty good dignity, but then there are there are the others. DeSantis is an anti-people fool who treated our children like plaque rats. It's pathetic that what he did also to the people of Key West was really pathetic. The citizens of Key West had a plebiscite on their election. They had a vote whether or not to restrict certain cruise ships from coming into downtown Key West, right where their port is. These giant ships were coming in with 3,000 passengers. 2 of them would arrive every day. 6,000 passengers would get off the ship within 2 hours, overrun all of downtown. There would be traffic accidents, traffic jams. There would be just mayhem everywhere as these folks are scattering all about. And all of these hucksters were down there trying to sell them T-shirts and get them on tours and try to sell them timeshares and whatever else is going on. And in the meantime, the ships were coming in and leaving and were spewing up all the silt on top of the coral reefs and just damaging that area down there dramatically. And the citizens of Key West said, we got to limit how many there are. We got to limit the size of these ships. We've got to protect our environment, and we got to protect our downtown lifestyle down here, because Key West is now becoming a shopping mall of gargantuan proportions. This is not the Key West that we're living here. They voted 68% in favor of doing that. DeSantis and his legislature overturned it. They passed a law saying that cities can't pass laws like that. And so they overrode it. And so big fat cruise ships are coming back into town again. It's just, this guy is a joke. He's an absolute joke. Protecting the citizens of Florida? I think not. Protecting the business of Florida, even that is shaky. The guy wants to go to the White House. That's all he wants. And he's going after the religious vote. That's all he's doing. And most people down there either know it or don't. I don't know. Don't care. Don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But how this guy stays popular is beyond me. But then again, I can understand who would love this guy. I get it. I can see who would love this guy. But the rest of us out here are just shaking our heads going, this guy's an idiot. It's ridiculous what this guy's doing. Nothing to do with state, the Florida. He's not acting on behalf of Florida. It's nuts. It's nuts. There you go, DH. All politicians see how they keep their job. They do this to keep their jobs. They have no interest in improving the government. Let's go. Statistics say states with fewer restrictions had less COVID. New York State was one of the most severe. Yeah, you know why New York State had one of the most severe cases of COVID? You may not remember this, but the Trump administration would not ban flights into the United States at the beginning of the breakout. So unvaccinated, unmasked, untested, people could fly into New York from around the world. And they do, because New York has one of the biggest international airports on the planet. So we've got flights from China coming in, flights from Singapore into Newark coming in. We have flights from Hong Kong, Tokyo coming in, flights from Europe coming in, flights from India coming in. Iranians were flying into Turkey, flying into New York. New York was bringing in and does bring in 80 million people a year on the airport. It's just a staggering number. The JFK is staggering. And so here comes the disease coming into New York. How many people flew into Wyoming from Beijing and London? How many flew into Idaho? How many flew into Missouri? How many international flights fly into these red states in the middle of the United States? None, virtually none. The only way to get there is on a connection. I mean, how many Londoners can't wait to go to Iowa to spend 2 weeks on holidays versus going to New York and seeing a Broadway play or two or three? I mean, get with the program, man. New York was and is an international connected city, as a state, as is California, as is Florida, as are other states that have high population, high international travel. The red states that Trump is all over are the states with the lowest population, but they each get 2 senators, which is great. Unbelievable. Anyway, there you go. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. It's a miracle that more people didn't die in New York. And it was a saddest sight to see how many people did die unnecessarily in New York. It is really pathetic. No, it didn't. The red states exploded in both deaths and infection. I also lost relatives. I hear you, man. I tell you. It's a virus, and it doesn't care. The virus doesn't care who you vote for. It doesn't care who you pray to. It doesn't care what you believe in. It doesn't care whether you wash your hands or not. It doesn't care. The virus is looking for you. It's looking for me. It's looking for our friends. It's looking for our enemies. It's looking for communists. It's looking for socialists. It's looking for racists. It's looking for religious folks. It's looking for atheists. It doesn't care. It's a virus. It's not human. It's a virus. That's what everyone keeps ignoring when it becomes convenient to try to put people against people. That's what everyone ignores. It's a virus. That's all it is. And because mankind didn't link up together, and I mean all of mankind, I'm not talking about America. I'm talking about the globe. We didn't link up together as a human species. We flunked the test. The test was, can mankind become together as one and defeat the virus? And we flunked it badly. And here we are. There it is. Here we go. Bama. Anyone that does not understand how government is corrupt by power and money has their head in the sand. Yeah. What can I say? You love this Puerto Rican? Oh, I love Puerto Ricans. You gotta love them all. Oh my gosh. Yeah, here we go. At this point, I'm rooting for the virus to win. Humans are fools. I hate DeSantis, says JJ. Oh man. Yeah, here we go. Both Democrats and Republicans have been lured into rhetoric public politics. Just don't be foolish to subscribe to either one. There you go. My thought is, if you don't want to vax, make sure you have someone that will know how to close your calls if you get sick. If you've written calls and don't vax, make sure someone knows how to close out your position. Oh man, oh man. Yeah, BZ, exactly. Everyone's agreeing with everybody here. It's all right. It's okay. What else is going on? I sold a 136 put for next Friday for $425. As I'm assuming that is I'm assuming that's a GameStop put. I'm assuming. Let's see. Yeah, on GameStop, says Bill. Rock and roll. Lockdowns don't work, says Pickcomb. Charlie, I hope DeSantis gets the White House. You're entitled to your opinion, but when you look at the numbers, Florida did a lot better than California. In what way? Florida got 20 million people and California has 36 million people. So you're comparing people to people on that. Florida was a disaster. Texas is a disaster. California had a real tough time of it. But at least they enacted statewide policies a lot faster, and they had statewide policies. Oh gosh, Florida is it's not good, man. It's not good. It could have been so much better. Florida could have been 90% better than it was, but it isn't, and you can't turn the clock back. It's too late. Too many body bags, unfortunately, have been used for that. Anyway, there it is. Oh my God, is DeSantis getting delisted? Uh, you guys think you got it bad? Try living in the UK with a lying prime minister. It doesn't matter who's the prime minister of the UK. You're going to get all kinds of nonsense over there too. Anyway, what can I say? Is it true that DeSantis is interviewing to be CEO of ATIP? At least he'll get coverage for the stock. He'll promote the market. We'll know who the company is. Oh my gosh. We have a revolution. It's called GameStop and Ryan Cohen. Laugh out loud. Throw a little Elon Musk in there as well. And Bitcoin. Laugh out loud. Trying to make change anyway. There you go. What else is going on here? Yeah, Charlie. Nursing home deaths across the U.S., across Canada, tragic. Absolutely tragic. One death was too many. And it was really, really pathetic. And you can include my mom as one of the victims of a nursing home passing. Thank you very much. JJ, if Dr. Oz can run for Senate without living in Pennsylvania, you can run here too, Uncle Bruce. Oh, man. Senator Cruz is Canadian. Not anymore. He renounced his Canadian citizenship, and we don't want him back. Texas, he's all yours. You can have good old Lion Ted Cruz. I love the photo of Ted coming back from, where was it, Cancun, Mexico, during the Texas brownout when the power grid failed, coming back in those beautiful looking pants that he was wearing, those sweatpants. Oh, he was just a picture. What can I say? Sadly, DeSantis is responsible for thousands of Republican older folks dying unnecessarily, which in a weird way is a good thing, but it could have been avoided. It is a sad, sad story. Do you think SoFi is going to stay between 6 and 8 the rest of the year? Boy, I hope it just hits $10 next week and gets going again. I'm not thinking a year out at all. I'm thinking really short-term turnaround, but you tell me when that's going to happen, and I want to believe it. Let's go here. What else is going on? I just rolled my calls and made $200, and I didn't need to infringe on the rights of others. It's amazing what I can do in my own home. You gotta love this. Tomorrow's another day, Stephen. L Boogie, DIS is acting children. Are you okay with that, Bruce? Diz is acting children. Am I okay? I don't know what that means. Credit Savage, Florida won the number of deaths. Nelson is just better than DeSantis. My whole family is vaccinated, and they got sick worse than some people that were unvaccinated. What a shame, or what a sham. Cindy, Aaron, I'm vaxxed now, but last year before I was able to, I got COVID and spent 10 days in the hospital on oxygen. Let's go. Can we talk about things that we agree on? Let's see. What else is going on here? Welcome all of you. Welcome all of you to the chat. If I got you riled up, I got you all woken up, if I got you all engaged, well, then maybe that's good. I don't know. Believe it or not, I got 101 thumbs up. So damn it, that's crazy. 101 in this market and with this environment going on. Incredible. But what can I say? I'm just, I'm on the outside looking in, but we have the virus too. And that's the thing. A virus goes after Canadians. It goes after Americans. It goes after French, Russians, Ukrainians. It goes after Iranians. It goes after Chinese. It just goes after any host it can find. It's a virus. That's all it is. It's just a virus. What can I say? It's kind of like that movie Aliens. You remember Aliens? They sent those kids up there, those Marines, to go and figure out what happened to that planet way out there. And the aliens didn't care whether you were Puerto Rican or whether you were black or white. The aliens needed hosts, and they just grabbed all the hosts they could get, and they welcomed the new ones to town. Unbelievable. But, we have an alien on our planet, this virus. It's an alien. And we're refusing to team up together to get it, to stop it. That's the problem. And when certain people don't believe there's a problem, then you're not going to solve the problem, because some people don't think there is a problem. So there you go. Well, here we are. What can I say? I thought this would be a movie plot. No, it's real life. It's real life. Anyway, there you have it. What else is going on here? Sorry, Uncle B. It's okay, you guys. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Hey, listen, I want to go back to these markets. Do you see Royal Caribbean going down to the 70s in the next month? Man, I'm wondering if we get any kind of a um, indication, which I think we will. We get indications coming up in the next few weeks about how bad the numbers are with the cruise lines. And I mean, not how many passengers are on the ships. That's not a bad number. It's good. So a lot of people who are owed cruises because of future cruise credits, they're going to get those future cruise credits. The bad news is the cash flow that these guys are going to be suffering from, because their land costs have gone up like all of our land costs. Their at sea costs have gone up because they have to feed passengers on board their ships, and food, as you know, has gone up dramatically. Fuel, 2 years ago, fuel for cruise ships versus now, we were at $60-70 a barrel for crude. Now we're at 103. You know what that means for cruise lines. That one of the major expenses of cruise lines is fuel. These guys are getting hammered. They can't double the price of a cruise. People won't go because they're up against all of these all-inclusive resorts in Mexico and Dominican Republic and all other places that are paying third world salaries to a lot of these employees down there that we get to take advantage of. And so the cruise lines are, they're up against it. They really have North American expenses. They have North American tastes that they have to adhere to. They do have third world wages that they're paying on board the ship, more or less, but not everybody. And then they have all of these first world expenses. Those numbers start coming out and become realized. I see analysts backing off and going, okay, all right, maybe the recovery on these stocks won't be quite so good. Keep in mind also that the cruise lines have borrowed $80 billion in 2 years, $80 billion to do what they're doing. They've scrapped ships that are inefficient, that can't get licensed anymore to go into certain ports around the world because they pollute too much. And they're not going to spend $200 million a boat to fix them up, or a ship. These cruise lines are smaller. They have fewer vessels. They are running with fewer passengers. They're having to give up cruise credits to get people to honor their money that they gave them 2 years ago. The dollars coming into the cruise lines are far, far lower than ever before. Their expenses are much, much higher now than before, including bank interest that will only get worse, higher interest rates. These cruise lines, there's no way that Royal Caribbean is going to stay in the 80s or the 70s or the 60s. The thing is going to the 40s. And in another year, if things don't improve, you're going to wonder which of the three, Norwegian, Carnival, or Royal Caribbean, is closest to bankruptcy. Which one? Because the junk bond financing, and every bond that they've issued and every bond that's out there for any cruise line is junk. All been rated junk bonds. They're not going to be able to raise any more money at maybe 20%, but not at 5 or 6. There is going to come a crunch, and it's going to happen. Bobby, Uncle Bruce is going to need some anti-gen CBD meds after this show. Aaron, you got 102, Bruce. Thank you for the thumbs ups, everybody. You're helping me out. I do appreciate it. That's true. Dr. Walter, part of the problem with American politics is you guys only ever have two choices. It's very polarizing. In the UK, you can vote conservative, centrist, left. In Canada, we got 5. We got 5 parties, and so we have minority governments, and they have to get along. It's as nasty as it gets. They have to get along. Not in the United States. That's not the way they want to do it right now. This has to be the liveliest show ever. It's hard to believe he's only 4'8". Uncle, you're a short tiger. You know that? I haven't had smokes. I haven't smoked any wacky tobacco in 8 years, but sometimes you guys make me want to smoke and drink. You got to move to New Jersey. They just started selling wacky tobacco today. Just started it off. There's always at least 4 choices. That's true in the UK. Canada's 5, sometimes 6. Where the heck is the end of the day rally? 1 minute to go, and we're closing. We're down 379 on the Dow. We're not going anywhere. I said it before. I'll say it again. Salty Bruce is the best Bruce. Thank you, everybody. I'm sorry if I riled you up too much. If I got you all upset, it's not what I'm here for. But I am here to wake you up from time to time. And if this is the Will Smith dope slap to wake you up to the fact that we are bell ringing right now, we're down 365 points on the Dow. We were up 750 going into today. We were up 300 plus right off the bat, and we end up losing 360. That's a 710-point turnaround today. That is a Will Smith wake-up call right on the face. And we could get much more of this tomorrow. I am sorry to say the Federal Reserve Chairman that was nominated, I believe, by President Trump, caused the market to go down today. He's not Biden's guy. He's Trump's guy. And all of you Trumpers out there, your guy talked today and cost the market hundreds of billions of dollars in lost market cap. Just saying. Just saying. I'm not judging. I'm just saying. That's plain English. That's what happened today. There you go. Would it be different with another Fed president? Probably not. It's probably going to be just as bad because the Federal Reserve is so focused on killing inflation that what they're going to do is they're going to kill the goose that lays the golden eggs. And that means you guys are vulnerable down in the US. We're vulnerable in Canada. And everyone else in the world is vulnerable because US rates make all rates move. If the United States raises their rates, every country raises their rates. So in Canada, our rates are going up. In the UK, they're going up. Now in the ECB, July, they're supposed to start going up. That's because that's what the US Federal Reserve wants to do. And so we all follow America, whether we want to or not. So if you don't want me talking about America, then I can't talk business with you. I have to be able to talk to you about what's going on in the business world. And that means we start talking about what happens in America first. We talk about the US and then we talk about the rest of the world behind it. That's just the way it is. And right now, America is having issues in many areas. And eventually these issues pile up to the point where they become a problem. And today we got a problem. And there you have it. That's all it is. I don't know, what can I say? Call me Chris and consider me shook up. Chris says, oh, please, Uncle Bruce, I live in San Francisco. I really could just walk down the street and buy CBD drinks, smoke some candy, laugh out loud. I'm a dad now, though. I'm trying to keep the vices to the very minimum. Here in Calgary, Canada, it's been passed on a federal level. So in Canada, CBD, cannabis is federally decriminalized. Something in America can't get its act together on, as you obviously know down south, because you guys have too many 60 and 70 and 80-year-old senators in the Senate, and they will never, ever vote to legalize cannabis until they die of old age. You got 10 more years, kids, before you get that legalized. I don't know how that's going to happen any sooner. But up here, our 45-year-old prime minister, 40-year-old prime minister, candidate for prime minister, Mr. Trudeau, he ran on a number of platforms, one of which was we were going to allow more immigrants into this country. This is 10 years ago. We were going to bring more immigrants into this country, or maybe 8 years ago. The conservative leader, Harper, who was prime minister, said that we're going to restrict the number of immigrants coming into Canada. And the right-wingers were convinced that, oh, this is the platform that's going to win it for us. And then Trudeau comes out and says, I'm going to legalize marijuana. I'm going to make it federally legal, that all provinces can sell it and they can regulate it themselves. And the conservatives weren't going to do it. They were opposed to it, and they lost the election. There you go. Because what the conservatives forgot is that anyone who is 60 and younger back then, 5 years ago, had all been smoking pot since they were teenagers. I forgot. In the United States, the 85-year-old senator doesn't understand that every American 60 or under has been exposed to marijuana their entire lives. That's part of the culture of America. It's been there forever. And now a majority of Americans want it passed, but the Senate won't do it because they got too many old farts in there. And unfortunately, certain states keep reelecting the old farts back. And so nothing's going to change, and that's it. Anyway, Biden renominated him. That is correct. Biden renominated Trump's guy. That is exactly what he did. Yeah. Here in the Washington, kids sell CBD oil in their cute green cardboard stalls. Cindy, I had to buy SoFi at $6.57. If it takes off, we will be selling SoFi options on the beach, baby. Nice going, Cindy B. Nice going. All righty. Let's see. Scully, sell my house as Scully. Don't talk bad about Sleepy Joe Biden. Bruce only blames Trump. Oh man, no, I blame George Bush the Junior. I blame George Bush too. He was a moron. Oh, absolutely. How he got reelected, I don't know, but you know it's all right. I spread it around. Nixon was a moron. I spread it around. Reagan was. His last 2 years, I don't know if he knew his name anymore. It was sad, and I liked Ronnie. I liked him, but he was old. He was losing it, and of course by '93 he said goodbye to us. Couldn't talk to us anymore. It was really sad. Ah, too bad. Uncle Bruce, with all the talk, you're going to make me want to sell all my stock, get under the bed covers, and just rock back and forth in the fetal position. Now, just write options. Just write options and take the money. Just take the money. Nope, Uncle Bruce has criticized Biden. You're falling for the theater. They're selling you again. DQ, husband, eat some veggies, drink some water, and go for a walk. There you go. Keep it goosey, Brucey. What a day. I can count on two hands on number of days I haven't consumed cannabis in the last 20 years. Let's see. Yes, that's right. Private prison lobbyists keep weed federally illegal. Oh, that business of prisons is a huge, huge business with unionized prison workers. Oh, it's good times. It's good times. Locking them all up. Oh, it's a wonderful thing. The horror stories that you hear of people who travel across the United States from a state where medical CBD is legal to go to across the country, and they go through states where it's not legal, and then they get arrested and they get charged with drug trafficking and they get put away for 10 years. Horror stories. And these are veterans with the veterans hospital, doctor prescriptions. They've got all kinds of issues, and then they are denied the drug that is being given them to treat them for PTSD and everything else. Criminal. It is criminal. What Americans do to Americans is shocking. It's just shocking. State to state, it's really scary. Anyway, there it was. Let's see what else is going on. Let's see what's going on here. I don't know what else is going on. People are just talking about all kinds of stuff here. I mean, what can I say? 500 pounds of marijuana spilled onto I-70 out of the side of St. Louis. Come and help yourself. You know, here in Calgary, Canada, in Creston, they had, I don't know, there are about 3 or 4 stores in Creston, like dispensaries, where you can buy legalized cannabis. No one hanging around the outside of the stores. No teenagers anywhere a block away smoking up. It's like it's just no difference. I cannot. I was wondering when it was becoming legalized. I was wondering, well, after it's legalized, will I? I don't know. Will I ever get to a situation where I'm? I don't know. I'm at a shopping mall or I'm at a strip mall, and I'll be walking along to my car, and I can smell someone smoking up somewhere because they just bought it over there. And not once. It's been now 6, 7 years, and no. Do people resell this stuff? No, they don't resell it because it's so expensive at the dispensary that there's no markup. There's no room for margins. When I take Auntie Jen to the dispensary and she goes in to get her rubbing oil, she has oil that she rubs on her, like on her leg and on her hip, which is really helpful for her joints, for her pain. I'll just wait in the car outside, and you go in the doors, and you can't look in the stores because they're all covered up with kind of a wallpaper, kind of a paper, like from the inside. Very discreet, very no flashing neon signs, dope, 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 none of that stuff. It's like walking into well, not a pharmacy, because up here pharmacies are part of big retail chains, I guess. But anyway, she goes in there, and I'll watch people come and go, and I'll see people in their 50s and 60s and 70s coming in and out of there all the time. And then, oh, there's a 30-year-old. Oh, yeah, yeah. And here's a single female, a husband and a wife, a guy, a girl, a granddad, a grandma. I mean, it just fits all demographics and all ages, male and female, and all of them are just normal-looking people going about their business. And in 15 minutes, if you're at the grocery store over there, they're in there buying groceries. In 15 minutes, you're pumping your gas over there. They're pumping their gas just like I pump. We're all the same. We all drive there. We all get our stuff. And we all move on, and it's consumed at home, and that's it. And enough is purchased by Jen to for like the next month's supply. Like it's just like once a month you go and get your medicine filled. It's medicine. Is Jen sitting here to get high? No, that's not the point of it. And there is nothing in it to make you high. It is a drug to treat pain, chronic pain. And Lord, I know that Jen has it. And there you go. Obviously, you can buy stimulants there, obviously. But I would bet you that most folks are going in there for medical. And of course, that's been legal in Canada for, I think, 10 years prior to everything being legalized. And it was available through the mail. You could order through the mail. And you could use your debit card to pay for it, if I recall. You could use debit. I'm not sure you can use credit cards. You can now. You can use your credit card, cash, whatever you want. Canada, completely legal, and it's not an issue. There is no big to-do at election time here in Canada. Like when we have a federal election, there are no politicians coming up and saying, as soon as I get into power, I promise you, I will shut down all the dope dispensaries. We will stop this. Not one. Not one. Not one politician can get elected on an anti-cannabis campaign. Not one anywhere. Not a chance. It's an 85% approval rating, and that's the end of it. And that's the end of this football that had been tossed around this country in Canada for decades. And we used to hear the stories would just make us, we'd just be so angry. We'd hear these holier than thou kind of preachers saying, "Oh, that's the cause of people becoming prostitutes, and this is why the country is going to hell, and this is causing divorces, and we have to outlaw these drugs because it's a gateway drug to the bigger things." And we were just sitting there going, "Wait, just wait these guys out. They will die of old age, and they will be gone." And the 40 and 50-year-olds, boomers, will take over, and it'll go through. And sure enough, the Prime Minister candidate for Canada, Justin Trudeau, Premier Elliott Trudeau's son, came up with the election campaign, and he just put it in there and said, "I'm up front. I'm telling you right now, we're going to legalize it across Canada." It wasn't even a debate. It wasn't even a hot topic, but the Conservative candidates were against it. That was their death sentence. It put them out of office 3 elections ago, and they still can't get back in because they won't admit that they're going to keep it. And so no Canadian trusts them. They won't trust these guys. And so too bad, boys. As pro-business as you are, right now we have a minority government, and it's being shared between the Liberals and the NDP here, socialist-type parties, the left. And it's just not a big deal around here. People say it is, but it isn't. It isn't a big deal around here. Of course, we already have national health care, so, that isn't an issue that we have to fight over. Guns, yeah, everyone fights over guns and all that sort of stuff. I mean, it's not perfect up here, but it's just not as dominant as it is in the States. That's the difference. It's just not as dominant, but what are you going to do? We just try to get by, try to do the best we can. I don't know. Everything we can. I don't know. Spire After Hours. What's happening on Spire After Hours? It is $1.91, up 15 cents. I say go, Spire, go. I have no news, but it's up 15 cents. Yay! I like it. I like that. Let's take a look at the watch list here. I'll take a look at our favorites and see what's going on right now. On the after hours, we have Rocket Lab up 18 cents to 805. We're down 2 cents on SoFi to 658. Nothing going on. GameStop is down 14 cents to 141.78. AMC down 2 cents. Matterport now up 2 cents to 6.19. We have 23andMe up 4 cents to 3.25. Spire is up 15.5 to 191. ATIP, no trades. Smart Rent, no trades. Sixtera, no trades. Or it's unchanged if there is trades. Apple down 35 cents to 166.24. Goldman up a nickel to 334, lost 670 today. Cisco lost 23, unchanged. Tesla lost gained $32 today, and is up $2 now. So it was up $100 today, but only gained 32 after it was all said and done. We lost 52 yesterday during the day. We have not recovered after the earnings. That's telling. ARC Innovations down 23 cents after losing 274. It's at 53.12 now. Microsoft up 18 cents after losing 532. Bed Bath Beyond down 4 after losing a penny. Pfizer unchanged, lost 63 cents today. Hewlett Packard lost $1.08, unchanged on the aftermarket. That is what is going on. That is the dealio with the markets and some of our favorite stocks right here and right now. Folks, thank you for, if you had to tolerate today's show, thank you for tolerating it. What can I say? I appreciate all of you hanging around when I go on my rants. If I make you angry, I'm sorry. If I make you happy, okay. If you're just silently nodding at me and going, yeah, he's kind of right. Oh, okay. If you're vehemently opposed to what I'm saying, sorry, that's the way it is. We're allowed to speak, I think. But I just want to give it to you in plain English from where I sit. And today, one thing did not lie. There was no lying today on the markets. The markets told the truth. The Dow dropped 368 points today. And that's the truth. That's real. And no one can deny it. I don't care who you believe in, what you believe in. We lost 368 points today on the Dow Jones. We were as high as 35,492 today. And we gave it all back and more. But I'll tell you this, even at 35,000, roughly 500, that left us 1,400 points away from the all-time high. That's how close we got. And we were up, like I said, that 300 odd points today. Had we been able to add a couple more, we would have been within 1,200 points of the all-time high. And that was 3-4% away. We lost it today. Now, tomorrow we might go up. We might just go up tomorrow. Maybe earnings come out tomorrow that just blow the socks off of the markets. But on the other hand, over the next week or two, maybe we get results that we don't like to see that cause us concerns. And we might be dropping in value again. But we'll find out. I'll be here tomorrow. Hopefully, you'll be able to join me tomorrow if I didn't offend you too much tonight. In the meantime, stay healthy, stay well, stay safe, and take care of yourselves. Make sure to give people you love an extra hug today, because you never know when it's the last time that you can give somebody a hug. I had no idea that October 2019 would be the last time I would hug my mother. I never knew. I had no inkling that that was the last time that I would see her and hug her. I had no idea. So you never know. And it could happen to you with loved ones, friends, and associates. Give an extra hug, be kind, rewind, and we'll talk to you tomorrow, first thing in the morning. Have a good evening from Calgary. This is Bruce saying bye for now. We'll see you tomorrow.